back, everybody, to the Horror Headlines. I'm your host, Henry Chambliss, and this Horror Headlines is for October 10th, 2025. I am super excited to be here. We have 5 great, big topics to talk about. I'm super excited to get that started with you guys, but let's kick it off with our big main event topic of the evening, shall we? All right, our first topic is from BladeDisgusting.com. The Jason Universe team doubles down on a promise of a 13th movie in the Friday the 13th franchise. The rights issues have finally worked out, and Jason Voorhees is finally back in our lives, with the Jason Universe team resurrecting the horror icon earlier this year to begin a brand new chapter in his historic legacy. That new chapter has already included a short film, Sweet Revenge, while the TV series Crystal Lake looms on the horizon for some time next year. But what about a new movie? Jason Universe's Robbie Bosselman recently teased that a new Jason Voorhees movie and video game are in the work, and he doubles down on those comments in an interview that was just published in the new issue of SFX magazine. Here's his quote: "We are actively working on a new movie, which will be the 13th in the franchise, as well as a new video game," Bosman teased in a new issue of SFX magazine via Game Radar. He also teases in the chat with the magazine that Jason will also be returning in other unexpected ways. He notes, "We're exploring a variety of opportunities, but constantly staying focused on authenticity." So, I am super excited about this. It's been since 2008, about 17 years ago, since we saw something official on the Friday the 13th legacy and Jason Voorhees. We got the short film Sweet Revenge, which I thought was fun. Harkens back to a lot of what made Jason so really cool and terrifying. But it's been 17 years since a movie, and I'm very excited to see what they do with it. Interested about the video game. We've had one of those before, and it did not turn out that well. You guys know what that is. It is the asymmetrical Friday the 13th game that is now, delisted from pretty much everywhere unless you have a physical copy. But I wonder if this is going to be almost like a open world, like an open camp type game. That would be fun, opening up a lot of new abilities, new costumes for Jason, or if they're going more like the Halloween video game that is more 16-bit adventure type, which is also really fun. I'm interested in seeing what this universe will be. I hope they don't tie everything in so strong, because that's kind of the problem with the MCU right now. That's kind of the problem with a lot of these universes, is that they try to make everything connect. And when you do that, you stunt a lot of freedom when it comes to the directors and the writers, because you're forcing them to follow a timeline instead of doing what they want to do with these characters. So I'm interested in the Jason universe if it means that we get a new movie, if we get TV series, if we get more video games, because that just means we get more of what we love. I want to see a lot when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street as well. It's been about 16 years since 2010. I want these horror icons to have these big moments again. I want a Jason movie. I want a Freddy movie. I want a new Chucky something, Child's Play something. We're getting Scream 7 next year. All of these iconic horror creatures are making a comeback, and that gets me super excited, because that's what horror was based on. Horror was based on these larger than life characters, and I want horror to return to mixing in a little bit of that with what we have now. So guys, tell me what you think of the Jason universe, the whole idea, and the team doubling down on a brand new movie. Are you excited or are you hesitant? Let me know in the comments below. Let's move on to our next topic. All right, guys, our second topic also comes from BladeDisgusting.com. David F. Sandberg teases his Amityville horror movie potential Lights Out sequel. While appearing at Midnight Fest in Boston over the weekend, director David F. Sandberg commented on his upcoming Amityville horror movie. His quote is, "I'm looking forward to doing a supernatural classic horror again," Sandberg told the audience. "Until Dawn was quite different and was more gore and craziness. Really looking forward to doing more of the suspenseful supernatural horror." Announced last month, Sandberg will helm a reimagining of the horror classic from writers Ian Goldberg and Richard Nang, The Conjuring, The Last Rites, and The Autopsy of Jane Doe for Amazon's MGM Studios. Sandberg also revealed that Lights Out 2 could still see the light of day. "There's a chance there could be a sequel. We'll see," Sandberg teased. "We did have a vision of a sequel, which wouldn't be if we do it now. Well, some of it might be, but the one that took place shortly after the original. But now Martin's not a kid anymore, so we'd have to take place like 10 years later." He adds, "I don't know how much I should say, because it still could happen." Released in 2016, Lights Out marked Sandberg's feature directorial debut based on his viral short film of the same name. So, I did not realize that David F. Sandberg was doing a Amityville horror movie. I'm very excited about that, and I love his comments because what David F. Sandberg does really well is very contained, very supernatural based horror. If you know him from Lights Out, which I think is incredible, or if you know him from Annabelle Creations, which I thought was a very, very great movie in the Conjuring universe, that gets me excited. That's what he's known for, is that really good, slow build, supernatural, intense horror film. He did really well with the first Shazam. I think he brought a really good comedic element to that. But to see a good horror director come back to his roots and say, "I want to make this a very scary, supernatural, centered movie." I haven't seen Until Dawn. I've heard mixed things about it, but I've also never played the game. I'm definitely gonna check it out though, because I do a horror show. I do a horror awards show. I got to keep up with this stuff, but I I want to see what he can do with this Amityville horror style. This, you know, really tragic tale. I haven't seen the last Conjuring movie, Conjuring: The Last Rites, but I have seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I thought was really good, really scary. So the writing crew he has can really bring that scare factor to the film. I can't wait to see who's starring in it. I can't wait for what David S. Sandberg does next. I hope we do get a Lights Out 2. As you said, you would have to set it maybe 10 years in the future because the actors are now older. But to see what their lives are like after that event of Lights Out, I think would be really interesting. And what something like that can do to somebody, not only psychologically, but physically, because they went through a lot of physical events. I'm very excited to see what could come out of a possibility of a Lights Out 2. So, guys, what did you think of David S. Sandberg's comments? Are you excited for his Amityville horror movie like I am? And would you be excited to see Lights Out 2? Let me know in the comments below. And let's move on to our next topic. All right, guys, our next topic is this right here. Predator Badlands final trailer welcomes you to the most dangerous creature-filled planet. Everything is trying to kill you in Predator Badlands. 20th Century Studios has unleashed a new trailer that sees our protagonist, Ayaja, face off against a variety of creatures and predators on a hostile new planet. Predator Badlands will release in theaters on November 7th, 2025. Elle Fanning stars alongside, and I apologize for butchering this name, Demetrius Shachtu Kalamaji as the Aja warrior Deke. I'm sorry. The newest entry in the franchise is set on a remote planet where a young predator, outcast from his clan, finds an unlikely ally in Thea, played by Fanning, and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. The new trailer warns that the warrior has chosen the most dangerous game on the most dangerous planet possible. Dan Trachtenberg from Prey and 10 Cloverfield Lane directs from a script he co-wrote with Patrick Allison, also who wrote Prey. There's a unique hook to her character that is exciting in the pairing of her and Deke. Trachtenberg previously teased to be the one one of Fanning's characters. The trailer finally brings the answer to that front. Thea is a damaged synth who will be strapped to the back of Deke in their bid to hunt big game. So I am super excited for this movie, man. I'm somebody who I couldn't get into the Predator franchise. I've seen most of the movies, but when it comes to Prey, I absolutely love Prey because it wasn't just a movie about a predator and these people who are hunting him. It was a story about more of just these characters and family, and then you had great action and great kick-ass stunts. This looks amazing because we're not following another character. We're not following, you know, this tribe anymore. We're following this predator. And for based on the trailers, we will be able to understand him because the language that the Yaja speaks, you'll be able to read it. So they're giving us more development into the language of the Ajas and the people or the creatures and how they speak and how they communicate. And that's just diving deeper into these creatures. Who are they? What planet do they come from? Why do they hunt? And I love the underdog story of let's take this person who was just abandoned by his clan for being a weakling, which is something that we know that they do. How is he going to prove himself? Well, he's going to go to the baddest planet he can. That's an underdog story. That's a Rocky story. That's somebody you want to root for. And then you have the idea of this synthetic creature being with him, and what does that equal? And there's just so much excitement I have about this movie. The trailers look absolutely amazing. I'm going to see this in theaters 100% because I want to experience these creatures and this production design and how great this movie looks. I'm so excited to see this. So guys, let me know, are you as excited as I am for the Predator Badlands movie? Predator has just been killing it lately. Prey, then you had the animated movie, which I thought was amazing. Now you have Badlands. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and let's have a great discussion. All right, guys, our next topic is one that I am very excited about. We have confirmation. Elizabeth Moss confirms The Invisible Man 2 is still in the works. We just have to get the right script. Released mere weeks before the world was shut down due to the pandemic, Leigh Whannell's modern take on The Invisible Man managed to gross $144.5 million on a $7 million budget. Speaking with Screen Rant, actress Elizabeth Moss opened up about a sequel that was originally announced back in July of 2020. Her quote is, I feel like it's important. We love that movie so much. The people who made it. We're so proud of it," she notes. "We really want to make sure if we do a sequel, it's worthy and it's going to be as good, if not better." So that has kind of been what slowed us down. Moss adds, "But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if we're going to do it, it's just got to be right, and we still want to do it. We're still working on it. We just have to get the right script together." Moss starred in The Invisible Man as Cecilia, who narrowly escapes from an abusive relationship with a wealthy scientist. But when her ex suddenly dies, Cecilia's sanity begins to unravel while she desperately tries to prove that she is being haunted by someone no one can see. So, I am super excited about this news, obviously. I think The Invisible Man is one of the best horror movies of the 2020s. Probably hands down, at least in my top 5, because of what it talks about. Not only is it fun and scary and got this really cool futuristic take on what an Invisible Man movie would look like. But deep down, it's a story about abuse and how abuse not only affects you in the present, but it affects you going forward in your life. It's something that you can never fully escape. And I love that Lee Winnell took that aspect of the Invisible Man character and the stories and breaks that apart. It's very different than the original two Invisible Man movies, which I've watched thanks to our Welcome to Primetime 31 Days of Primetime episodes coming out. But a sequel sounds very interesting. Where do we go after the events? If you guys don't know what the end of 2020's Invisible Man is, and I guess spoiler warning for you guys, Cecilia kills off the abusive ex and she uses his technology to do it. Where would that lead us? Is she, slowly going insane? Is she going the route of the Invisible Man Returns or the Invisible Woman, where we got to see kind of her psyche break? So much stuff you can do, and I love Moss's quote about we just want to make sure it's as good or even better than the original one, because what that tells me is they're not just hopping into a sequel because it made a lot of money. If they wanted to make a sequel and just put it out there and make money, they would have done it in 2021, right after the movie got released. But the fact that they're waiting on the right script and they're waiting on something that is going to blow them away tells me that this is a movie that they want to get right, and it's a movie that if it takes a little while longer, then that's okay, because the script will be worth it when they find the one that they think can succeed what the original one did. So that gets me very excited. I'm so excited that the sequel is still being talked about and it's not just something that's been forgotten. But I I absolutely love The Invisible Man. One of my, as I said, in my top probably 5 or 10 movies of the 2020s so far. Um, but the sequel just gets me so excited. All right, guys, tell me what you think about uh, Elizabeth Moss's comments in the comments below. Do you love The Invisible Man as much as I did? Or are you not excited for a sequel? Let me know down in the comments and we'll have a lively discussion about it. All right, guys, our final news topic of the night is one that is from a movie I've never heard of, but after seeing the trailer, I'm super excited for. It's a movie called Self Help. Halloween cult horror movie Self Help from Founders Day director gets new trailer and release date. Filmmaker Eric Bloomquist, who directed Founders Day and She Came from the Woods, is back with a new horror movie, Self Help, and a brand new trailer gives us a closer look at the Halloween setting, along with a seasonally appropriate release date. Self Help is set up for a nationwide theatrical rollout on Halloween, October 31st, with Mischief Night sneak previews on October 30th. The film follows a college student as she infiltrates a dangerous self-actualization community after her mother becomes entangled with its enigmatic anti-cult leader. Self-help represents everything we love about horror: fearless storytelling, visual gore, and disturbing imagery that stays with you long after the credits roll. Delighted to be bringing Eric and Carson's next film to audiences across North America, says distributor Cineverse. So, I just saw the trailer for this movie, Self Help. It looks really cool. It is a Cineverse, Bloody Disgusting, collaboration. So, that those movies are going to be really, really gory because they did the Terrifier franchise. But I'm also somebody who I love a good cult horror movie. There's something so unsettling about coming to a place that looks so angelic and a place that looks so heavenly and that looks so tempting, but just to find out that the leader, there's something always off with the leader. There's something always up with this union, this cult. There's something always just slightly off, and that's really unnerving to me because that's realistic. Cults do exist, and you get every time you look at a cult leader, you get the chills because you're super disturbed by them as you should be. So a horror movie set on that with the leader claiming to not be a cult leader, I think is very interesting as well. I know there has been a lot of it was secretly a cult, and I know a lot of people do not like that. That happened in Long Legs and things like that as well. But if done right, nothing gets me unsettled more than a really good cult story. And this is what it's bringing me. And the fact that it's from Cineverse and it's from the guy who did Founders Day and it's from Blade Disgusting, then you know they're not going to cheap out on the gore of this. So we're going to see you know, what an actual like gory movie this could be. It gets me very excited because we need horror like this to balance out. And the fact that it's getting a nationwide showing is very exciting for me because I want to go see it. I want to go support lower budget horror films because they are very important. So I think this trailer did a very good job of getting me excited and interested in what the movie could be. And hopefully it turns out to be even better than I think it's going to be. Guys, tell me what you think about self help in the comments below. Discuss it. What is your favorite, type of that horror film? The cult, the insanity of a cult horror movie. Let me know your favorite in the comments below. And guys, that's it. We are officially done with this week's horror headlines. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us for our 31 days of prime time episode as well, because that is coming out very soon. So if you guys did enjoy this, please hit the like button, subscribe, welcome to prime time, and remember, stay scared.